Welcome to the Grow Your Business and Grow Your Wealth podcast with Gary Heldt. Gary is an expert in helping business owners put together a plan that will provide a better future for their businesses, themselves, and their families. On the podcast, Gary interviews other professionals who share his vision, and together they share secrets and strategies any business owner can use to build a better financial foundation for your business and your life.
Hey, welcome back to the podcast. This week, my guest is Mark Burns, and he is the Executive Director of the Coconut Grove Business Improvement District, where he has championed local business growth and community revitalization. With over 20 years in real estate leasing and management, Mark has helped businesses navigate everything from lease negotiations to operational challenges. Welcome, Mark.
Gary, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Mark, give us your background before you got involved with Coconut Grove Business Improvement District.
Yeah, so right before I was with the district, I worked for Miami-Dade County. I ran a division, like a leasing division. I had a few government real estate agents underneath me, and we'd lease county-owned property. We'd collect rents, do kind of an asset management role. Before then, I was at the city of Miami doing a very similar position for about 8.5 years, and really got to know a lot of the different areas of Miami and worked on some pretty prolific deals that I'm very proud of. And mixed in between there, I was executive director of Bayfront Park, which is Miami's kind of like Central Park, right? It's like the main park of the city of Miami, and a lot of events are done. There's an amphitheater. It's just a very buzzing, happening place.
Great. What made you want to get into kind of the whole real estate business development arena?
Um, kind of just happened by happenstance, to be honest with you. I'm a kid in school and kind of, didn't really have a path marked out, and just my advisor for my academics at Florida State kind of saw an opportunity and kind of mentioned this degree to go into, and I kind of went for it, and it really fit, it really melded with me, and it took hold, and I really enjoyed, and I have enjoyed. I'm a helper. I like to help people out and do things for others. And my reward is like seeing people succeed and thrive, right? And that brings me some happiness.
Gotcha. What for the listeners, explain what the Coconut Grove Business Improvement District, what is it? What's the kind of the mission and everything behind it?
So Coconut Grove is the oldest neighborhood in Miami. It's actually part of the city of Miami, right? Even people down here in South Florida don't know, what's Miami. South Beach is actually Miami
Yeah.
Beach. It's a totally different city. But Coconut Grove is the oldest neighborhood, and it was an old artist colony many over 100 years ago. It had its centennial a few years ago. So that's a little bit about what Coconut Grove is, and it's really matured into a great destination for families, and it has a thriving business community, like a little downtown area of this neighborhood. And basically, though that during some leaner times back in the early 2000s and the mid 2000s, the business community wanted to kind of ramp things up, right? And they had a couple of other areas had business improvement districts. So they got together, got with the local politicians, and created this Coconut Grove Business Improvement District, and it really helped market. And it's a way of pooling, it's a way of pooling resources to enhance marketing, to enhance events, and try to bring people into the area. It also, we also supplement city services, help keep the place cleaner, safer, hire additional security, hire additional off-duty cops if we need to. So it's basically a way of coming a little bit out of pocket, not an astronomical sum by any means, and pooling your funds to try to make your neighborhood or your district a better place to be.
So, so basically with this though, you guys have, and I think you kind of said it, is that you have these businesses that are pulling together for the common good of a particular area
Exactly.
to kind of help revitalize it.
Exactly, exactly. And now, now the Coconut Grove, we call it the Grove, right? We're in an uptick and things are great. Like the businesses are really doing well. It's the summer right now, it's off season, so it's always lean in the summers down here. It's very hot, but yeah, so now we're trying to maintain, right, and spread the word and try to keep the status quo going or even achieve higher heights.
Now, are you guys helping negotiate getting more government services in there, trying to get more business in there? What are you guys trying to do now?
For sure. We look out for grants and things. In fact, I was recently on a selection committee for a mom and pop grant where they gave around 5 grand to about 30 different businesses in Miami-Dade County and a few businesses in Coconut Grove. We would spread the word. So we have newsletters that go out that talk about all the happenings that are going on uh, in the business community. And then we also have a newsletter that goes out more of a marketing and advertising for consumers and things like that. So we spread the word to the business community, letting them know, and then we go out and do boots on the ground to try to get people involved because it's tough to get people out of their shell and it's not as simple as like one click to get a $5,000 grant. If you've ever applied for grants, like you gotta pony up some documentation and put a couple hours of legwork into it. But the few people who did it in the Grove, it paid off for a couple of them. So I'm proud to see that. And we're always looking for other opportunities. And we do have a great relationship with the city and the county. So we're pushing for, if there's streets in disrepair, we just had one of our main streets called Main Highway was delaminating and not quite potholes, but beginnings of them where it's a bumpy road and things, and we were just able to, I don't want to take credit for it, but we were definitely pushing along with the community to try to help get that resurfacing done, and it was just completed within the last couple of weeks. So a nice win for the community.
So what part of what I'm hearing you say too with this is that, you know, because you guys have joined together as a group, so instead of just having, trying to talk to a politician about or a delegate or somebody about getting stuff done, you guys have, instead of a bunch of individuals, you guys have formed this group that collectively you have more power than one person and you're able to get your voice heard a little bit better.
Correct. And it's a lot easier for the politicians to deal with one person than many people because everybody has a different message and you select somebody that kind of can speak for the community. And that's done a lot here. Even when I was at Bayfront Park, you had neighborhood associations where you have a bunch of high-rise condominiums, and instead of each condo having a voice, they had a president of the neighborhood and that president would deal with me on issues. So it's a sim. Now some bids are almost totally the public. Now our commissioner for our district commissioner in Coconut
Mhm.
Grove and some other areas is actually the chairman of our board. So we have the government intertwined with our community. So we have the head of the Miami Parking Authority, the CEO, Alex Agurin. She's the head. She's like the vice chair of our board. So we have a couple of government agencies that are involved, and then so we have a 9-member board. Our chair is the commissioner of the district. Like I said, we have the CEO of the Miami Parking Authority, and then the rest are all business owners, landowners, or representatives of landowners,
That's
property
great.
owners.
Yeah, that's great. Um, Kind of let's move to your prior life and how you've overseen the city-owned properties and been able to help negotiate leases and things like that. Um, in that role and what you've done, what are some of the common mistakes that you're seeing business owners make when it comes to, trying to get into some of that property and the leases and stuff that they're trying to negotiate?
Well, specific to government, you have to be really detail oriented, and a lot of times processes are done are requests for proposals, RFPs, they're called, and things like that. And you have to have you have to be severely detail oriented in order to get into some of those agreements. And then when you win the bid, then you get into the more detailed negotiations. So some of the mistakes I see from on the government side. I did about 10 years in the private side as well. I worked for Jones Lang LaSalle for a few years and did commercial property management and then a few local firms as well before I went into government. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the mistakes I would see is um, people getting into agreements that they don't fully understand. People, a lot of times, with government, you will form partnerships and you enter into agreements with nonprofit organizations to handle community benefits, right? Whether it's a halfway house or a place for children or with drug problems or something like that to go, right? They'll get into it and they know how to run the program and they know how to do it well. But then when it comes to maintaining a facility, which as part of the agreement, a lot of times they're on the hook for, and maybe they shouldn't be, right? Maybe that's a problem, a disconnect with who's doing those deals and things like that. But that's a common problem that I would see is you have a group that would come in who specializes in running a program, and then they're asked to fund capital improvements when they don't necessarily have like long-term leases, or sometimes they might have like a license that is revocable with 30 days notice. How are you going to get a loan to handle major capital repairs when you don't have any term or an agreement that can be canceled within 30 days? So those are some of the big problems that I've come across in my years.
Yeah. I think, and I tell people this all the time, when you're kind of starting out in business and you have the different contracts, lease and stuff like that, it really pays to have somebody who's experienced in doing this,
Of
or
course.
having that attorney involved that can read over this and interpret it to make sure that you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Best intentions and everything else, but sometimes you get into something that you really shouldn't have gotten into. Um,
Now, usually when you have the larger developments and things like that, you have players that know what they're doing and they have professionals to handle that. But it's more of the smaller nonprofits and things like that that tend to get into those kind of issues.
yeah, yeah. Um, in kind of the strategic planning, long term, um, business acumen and everything, where do you see, um, I guess, how far down the road are you looking when you guys are looking at that stuff? Because many times, people are looking at, today, when, even just looking at the economy, they're looking at today and saying, oh, things are good or whatever, as compared to, really needing to look, whatever it is, 3, 5, 7 years down the road of what's happening now and how it's going to affect. So when you guys are working on, I'm going to say your strategic planning, long-term planning, how far out are you guys actually looking?
Yeah, 3 to 5 years is pretty much what we look at. We have some big capital projects that are on the forefront. We have a regional theater that's kind of being downsized to more of a local theater, but it's been uninhabitable for over 20 years since like Hurricane Andrew, and it's been tied up in legal battles and things like that. So yeah, we do have some funds that are going to go towards building a parking garage for that facility. So those we look about 3 years out. I would say five is as well, but that's a little far out for us. Things are pretty volatile and change pretty rapidly. So I'd probably say we stay closer to 3 years.
Now, in having I guess, new businesses come into, your district and stuff like that, and you guys, I'm going to say letting them in, um, how much of a commitment are you guys looking for them from a time standpoint? Are you guys looking for them?
It's just like in anything, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? So we have about a little over 200 folios in our little business district, right? And then inside each of those folios could have multiple businesses. Some are office high rises with, many, many tens of businesses. So if you are inside the business district, you are in the bid. If you're a commercial property, our assessments are collected through real estate taxes, which is the way we have it done. And different business districts do it different way, but this is really nice and easy for us because
Sure.
most property owners are going to pay their real estate taxes. So our assessment is on there, but yeah, the people we're out imploring business owners to get involved, right? If you want us to market your business, I need you to send me marketing materials, right? I need you to
Right.
send me, if you have specials or you have an event going on, I need you to send it to me and I need you to communicate with me. So, it's really up to the business owner, but the business owners who get the most benefit from the business improvement district are the ones that reach out and connect with us because we're a small staff of about 5 people and we don't have the staff to go and like really hit every single business in here and really take it's the ones that reach out and it's a free service. Like you're
Right.
not it's not free, but you already paid for it.
Right.
So use it as much as you can. And if you're in a business district, that's my advice to you, right? Reach out, get to know your executive director, get to know the marketing director if they have one for that business and form a relationship with them.
Yeah, I think that that's something that lots of times, because I know here there's a economic development board here in our county, and they have so many resources that are out there. And when I've talked to them, they're like, "Yeah, we have them all. We keep trying to tell everybody about them, but people aren't taking advantage of them."
Tough.
And it's in all of our tax dollars do go to pay for it, but people just aren't using them. And I think that that's, you just said it. It's like, hey, we're here, we can do it, but if we don't know about it, we can't
Listen,
help you.
it's you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right? There's a reason
Right.
everybody's heard of that because it's true in more things than business. It's true and it's just human nature.
Sure.
You get stuck in your rut and you have your day-to-day routine, and to break that is a challenge. But the people who do are the ones who are going to succeed.
Right. Right. Um, It, you said that on your board, that you have people that are business owners in your district that are on there. If somebody wants to get onto a board like this, how do they have to go about doing that?
So when we have a vacancy, if somebody has to leave the area, we've had people, they have a family emergency and they have to move off to another state, whatever. There's many things people get let go,
Sure.
so different things happen. So what we do is we send out information on our newsletters. We send out information to all the business owners and basically say, hey, there's a seat up. If you're interested in this seat, submit your application and we have a resume. We ask a resume, we ask for a few different things. Obviously, business address. You have to have a business within Coconut Grove. And then we review them and we do a selection panel and go through and it's all reviewed by like a selection committee and then it goes to the full board for approval. So we've done one since I've only been working for the bid for a little over a year. End of April was my 1 year. We did one new board member.
Now, what type of a time commitment is being on a board like this?
So we only meet quarterly. So the actual time commitment needed like on paper is coming to the board meeting. Board meetings are maybe I try to keep them under 2 hours. So it's not too big of a time commitment. So 4 times a year, but we do have events, and we love to see our board members coming and supporting. There's obviously additional commitments. We send out information. I send out the monthly financial reports to all the board. I send out information. So it's really up to you if you're going to review those. We'd like to, the more heavily involved you are, the more of an impact you're going to have. But really, the bottom line commitment that we need is a couple hours a quarter. So
Right,
it's not too demanding, I don't think.
right, right. Um, Mark, what if I not asked you you wish I had?
Ah, man.
I mean, I know
Just
there's
just
always
I
a lot
mean,
of stuff, so
what I let my whole reason for coming on these on a podcast like yours, right, is to spread a little bit of information, but really it's to tell people about Coconut Grove, right? So,
right.
that's the one thing, just to talk a little bit about Coconut Grove. Like, this is Coconut Grove is the part of Miami. This is the affluent part of Miami where people from Miami-Dade County want to go. Like, this is where, when you're living in Miami Lakes, or another area in the county, where you say, "Hey, when I grow up, I want to move to Coconut Grove," right? This is like the place. I mean, you have your pockets like crazy Star Island, where you have a $40 million mansion just to get in there. But if you have some money, like, it's expensive to live here. This is a great place to vacation. We have the largest marina in South Florida, Dinner Key Marina. So if you like to get out and get in with your family and have a nice family vacation, this is a very safe area. It's very clean. We have great hotels. We have great restaurants, great retail. And if you want to go and experience a little bit more of the nightlife, a little bit of more action, we're 15, 20 minutes away from South Beach. If you want to go to Wynwood, which is another very touristic area of Miami. We're 20 minutes away from there. We're right south of downtown Miami, right? So you're right in the mix, but you're in the more family friendly, the more mature area but you can come out. We've got like a big Key West vibe here, and you can come out in your sandals and cargo shorts and a t-shirt, and you'll fit in just fine. And you can also go around with a blazer, and looking dressed up, and you're going to fit in as well. It's just a versatile area of Miami. It's very different from the other areas in Miami.
Right. So, Mark, if people want to reach out to you, they want to learn more about the Coconut Grove Business Improvement District, how can they reach you?
Sure, you can go to our website, which is coconutgrove.com. And on there you can reach out directly to us just by putting in any questions and just contacting us on our contact us page on there. That's probably the easiest way. You can look for us on Instagram and Facebook. We've got all those channels as well. We've got a robust marketing initiative, and we put a lot of info. We've got a lot of followers on Instagram, and we've got YouTube channels, all of the above. Just hop on, do a search for Coconut Grove, and you'll pop us up.
Sounds good. Mark, I really appreciate your time today.
Gary, thank you so much for having me. You have a great evening. All right, sir.
You too. Appreciate it. Hey, this week, my guest was Mark Burns, and he's the executive director of the Coconut Grove Business Improvement District. And I'll see you guys next week.